Today we are going to represent on ancient Roman civilization. It all started from Roman Republic. The Romans established a form of government, a republic that was copied by countries for centuries. In fact, the government of United States is based partly on Rome's model. The aristocracy dominated the early Roman Republic in Roman society. One of the innovations of the Roman Republic was the notion of equality under the law. In 1449 BCE, government leaders implemented some Rome's most important laws into 12 great tables. The 12 tables, as they came to know, were the first woman laws put in writing. Although the laws were rather harsh by today's standard, they did guarantee every citizen's equal treatment under the law. Roman Republic was Julio-Claudian dynasty. The Julio-Claudian dynasty included the first five Roman emperors, namely Augustus, Tiberius, Caligula, Caelius, and Nero. They ruled the Roman Empire from its formation under Augustus in 27 BC until 68 AD, when the last of the line Nero committed suicide. During their period of power, a gradual transformation took place in Roman society. Numerous freedmen and slaves rose to important offices in Roman administration, and an increasing number of provisional subjects won the right to Roman citizenship. The end of the Julio-Claudians jumped Rome back into the civil wars. The lack of an heir to Nero, as well as the making revolution that encouraged his confession and suicide, sent Rome strengthening back into brutal civil wars. The year following Nero's death, the year of the four emperors, saw three most important men in succession claim imperial power, only to be killed in this attempt. The only survivor was the fourth and the final claimant, Vespasian, who successfully defeated all opponents and rose to power as emperor, founding the Flavian dynasty of Rome. Claudian dynasty was Flavian dynasty. The year 69 AD was also known as the year of four emperors, in which four emperors ruled in succession, namely Servius Sulpicius Galba, Marcus Servius Otho, Aulus Vitellius, and Vespasian. At the end of situation in Roman Empire was stabilized by Vespasian, who managed to impose himself as a sole ruler. He formed the Senate, whose authority and numbers had diminished under Nero and during the civil wars. Vespasian also recruited equestrian officers who brought knowledge to the imperial administrators and civil services. Neither Vespasian or his successors were from a noble aristocratic Roman family. The dynasty did not last long because her members were only two Vespasian's sons, Titus Flavius and Domitian. He was better known for his last words saying, "Ah, bless me, I feel that I am turning into God." Flavian dynasty was Severan dynasty. The Severan dynasty was a Roman imperial dynasty which ruled the Roman Empire between 193 and 235. The dynasty was founded by Roman general Septimius Severus, who rose to power during the civil war of 193, known as the year of five emperors. Severus' reign is notable for the militarization of the government, growing Oriental influences in society, and high development of civil law. After the last Severan ruler Severus, Alexander was murdered in 235 CE. The Roman Empire ended a long 50-year period of instability. Civil war broke out, which at last caused the fall of Severan dynasty.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hafsa Ahmed. The topic I am going to present is Roman Empire and its rise. Roman era was started in 31st BC when Augustus Caesar was its first emperor. Ancient Roman era was an empire which was a political system based on an individual or an emperor or empress. Roman Empire was founded in 8th century BC. It was a civilization which was founded of Italian Rome. Roman Empire highest time period was between Augustus and Diocletian, which was known as Higher Empire. It was contributed to modern languages, religion, society, etc., which lead to dynastic succession for it. Roman reached to its highest expanse, that was territorial, which was due to Trajan. Trajan expanded Roman Empire to become larger than even before. He conquered Dacia, which provided land for Roman settlers and also for rich pickings from gold and salt mines. He was also known for buildings projects that includes bridges, roads, aqueducts. He ordered the constructions of new forum in Rome and Trajan's Pantheon, that is a temple dedicated to Roman gods. One of his most intricate projects was Trajan's Column, a commemoration of emperor's successful Dacian campaign. Dacian was also conquered by Trajan. Roman government was based on three things: consuls, senate, and assembly. Consuls were chairmen of senate, which serves as a board of advisors. They also command the Roman army that has both two legions and exercise the highest judicial power in the Roman Empire. Originally, the two consuls had to belong to patriarchate and the Roman aristocracy. Roman government system was based on aristocracy and also as a monarchy. Its Senate of the Roman Republic was actually the governing and advisory assembly of aristocracy in the ancient Roman Republic. Senate played three main functions. It acts as the repository body for the executive power. It served as the king's council, and it functions as a legislative body in concern with the people of Rome. The third part of Roman government system was assembly. During the Republic, two different assemblies and elected magistrates, executive legislative power, and made other important decisions. These assemblies were organized accordingly to the principles of group vote. It was a fight that brought about significant change: a plebeian assembly and the concilium plebis. Through this new congress, the plebeians could elect tribunes who, like consuls, served for 1 year. The primary function was to safeguard plebeians' right against patrician abuse.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Usma Tariq. The topic that I'm going to present is economy of ancient Rome. Ancient Rome was an agrarian and slave-based economy whose main concern was to feed a vast number of citizens and legionaries who populated the Mediterranean region. During the Roman Republic, Roman economy was largely centered on the trading of commodities such as grain and crops. Agriculture and trade dominated Roman economic fortunes, supplemented by small-scale industrial production. The next topic that I am going to present is the social status of ancient Rome. Ancient Rome was divided into partitions: plebeians, freedmen, and slaves. Partitions were wealthy landowners. They were descendants of founding fathers, or part of ruling classes such as senators and consuls, etc. Plebeians were poor people. They cannot lead the government. They can own small farms and shops. Slaves, they work for wealthy people. They can be sold from one person to another, and anyone can buy them, and anyone can buy their rights. Freedmen, they weren't freed from slavery. They own little rights, and they can own shops and farms.
The armies were huge and formed by fearsome soldiers called legionaries. Thanks to them, they conquered all corners of the Mediterranean. The Romans were also great engineers and architects, and created very orderly cities with many amenities. They had aqueducts to carry water from one place to another, bridges to cross rivers, circuses.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm Muhammad Suleiman. Today the topic of my presentation is the judicial and military structure of the ancient Romes. So, military. The Roman army was the backbone of the Roman Empire and one of the most successful armies in the world history. It was well trained, well equipped, and well organized in the world. Uh, in order to guard such a large empire, the army took advantage of well-built Roman roads to move about the empire quickly. First of all, legions. Roman soldiers were organized into large military units known as legions. The Roman legions were based off the infamous Greek phalanx. The soldiers in the Roman legionary were all Roman citizens. They signed up for 20 years. At the end of the 20 year, they were gradually awarded land or the sum of money. This way, the army was made up of trained and experienced soldiers. The Roman soldiers used a variety of weapons including a dagger, gladius, javelin, and bows and arrows. The soldiers were trained to fight with their weapons and practiced on a regular basis. They would they would sometimes spar with each other using wooden swords. The second part of my presentation is the judicial system of the ancient Rome's. The Rome had a complex system of government and law. Many of the basic system and ideas that we have about laws and government today comes from the ancient Rome. The Roman constitution was an agreed upon set of principles that was followed by a Roman government. It was not written down in one place but was established through traditions and individual laws. Because many of the laws were unwritten uh, or unavailable for the people to see, there was much room for corruption by public officials.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Riksha Rana, and the topic I'm going to present today is innovation of Rome. Innovation of Rome includes art, architecture, and technology. The ancient art of Rome and its empire and its republic includes architecture, paintings, sculpture, and mosaic work. Luxury objects includes gem engraving, ivory carvings, and metalwork and glass are sometimes considered to be the lowest form of Roman art. Although they were not considered as such at that time, sculpture was perhaps considered to be the highest form of Roman art, and also the figure painting was highly regarded. Ancient Roman architecture adopted the external language of classical Greek architecture for the purpose of the Romans, but was different from Greek styles, becoming a new architectural style. The two styles were often used one body classical art for classical architecture. Roman architecture flourished in the Roman Republic and even after the empire. When the great majority of surviving buildings were constructed, it used new materials such as concrete, domes, arcs. Technology developed by this civilization is limited with the available sources of energy, and Romans were no different in the sense. Accessible sources of energy determines the ways in which power is generated. The main types of power accessed by this ancient Romans were human, animal, and water. The next slide is civilization. The Roman civilization was founded in 753 BC by Romulus and Remus, twin sons of Mars, the god of war. He has been said the god of war. All the kings after Romulus were elected by the Senate. Romans were prodigious builders, experts, engineers, and thriving civilization which produced advances, technology, culture, and architecture. The first settlers of Rome were Latins. They chose this spot because of the mild climate and good farmlands and strategic location. Thank you.
Legend has it that Rome was founded by Romulus and Remus, two brothers who had been raised by a wolf. But that's just a legend. Rome was founded almost 2,800 years ago with the union of several villages in Italy. At first, it was a monarchy. Those who commanded were the kings, but later it became a republic.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Bisma Tariq. Today the topic that I am going to present is the influence of Roman Empire on modern world. Many aspects of today's society and world have been affected by ancient Rome. Basically, creation of law, development of democratic government systems, and influences in language, infrastructure, art and city planning. All are areas where the influences of Roman ideas can be seen. So, first of all, I'm going to tell you about the influence of Roman Empire on infrastructure. Elements of modern city planning can be traced to Roman concepts. Romans were basically engaged in extensive city planning as they consolidated their empire. Roman military and colonial towns were led out in variation of highly planned grid developments in the architecture of fortification, relating to compact space and fast maneuverability, and the discovery of perspective, focusing and description on the eye of the viewer led to radial focus in the city plans and the development of ideal town plans. So this many European cities like London and Paris sprang from these Roman origins. Similarly, in Washington DC, building designs were derived from Roman styles. The Roman process of lawmaking has also had a deep influence in today's modern democratic systems. In ancient Rome, lawmaking was basically a bicameral activity. Legislation was first passed by a committee or assembly of the people, and then it was approved by upper class or senate, and then it was issued in the name of Rome and in the name of citizens of Rome. So basically, in modern world, many countries adopted this Roman Republic as a model for their governments, such as USA and many other countries for for their lawmaking processes. It is a pattern continued in almost every democratic constitution. Another influence of Roman Empire on modern world is basically the spread of Latin language. Basically, the Latin language forms roots of many Western languages such as English.
My name is Muhammad Hambal Khan, and I am going to present the topic of legacy of Rome. To understand how the legacy of Rome has embedded in today's empires, we must see legacies of Roman Empire and modern governments. The obvious influence of the Roman Empire is the idea of a republic, a concept of governing by an elected and legislative system. The system in Rome also had a judicial system that, similar to today, was considered as the primary way to uphold citizens' rights and have checks and balances in the government. It was not just the Roman Republic, but also the Roman Empire, which had the concept of strong central government led by an emperor who brought order and power that profoundly influenced Asian and European governments. The next one is emperors and monarchy. After the fall of Roman Empire in 5th century AD, it is commonly viewed that Europe had entered into a dark age, and the Roman economic and political system had collapsed. However, very soon after the collapse of the Roman Empire, local rulers and monarchs that arose began to opposing each other and adopted the Roman governmental tradition and laws. We can see that the Roman Empire did continue in the form of the Byzantine Empire in the Middle East and the Eastern Europe. Here, the rulers titled themselves as emperors in a similar manner to the Roman Empire.
His most important reform was the creation of the Tetrarchy. The empire was divided into the eastern and western halves. Each got an emperor, Augustus, and both emperors appointed their heirs, Caesars. The goal was to create a stable inheritance system. Despite the fact that the Tetrarchy failed shortly after the death of Diocletian, the Western and Eastern Roman empires became the standard division, and that prolonged the existence of the Roman Empire.
The ideas have also incorporated Roman rule and governing that forms the basis of democratic system. Works by Cicero and other noble figures are highly notable even in today's world. Now we talk about fall of Rome. One of the biggest reasons in fall of Rome was when Constantine declared Christianity as the official religion, disregarding the Roman religion, as the Christians were monotheistics and the Romans were polytheistics. Unlike the fall of such other great empires such as Assyrian and Persian, Rome did not fall victim to revolution or war. Around 3rd century, the Roman Empire had become so much big that it was not possible to be governed by one single ruler. At that time, Emperor Diocletian divided it into a tetrarchy. The tetrarchy was further divided in favor of an Eastern and Western empire. And now, to conclude this presentation, I would say that wave after wave of Germanic barbarian tribes swept through the Roman Empire. Groups such as the Visigoths, Vandals, Saxons, Franks, and Lombards took turns ravaging the empire, eventually carving out areas in which to settle down. The Angles and Saxons populated the British Isles, and the Franks ended up in France. In 476 Common Era, Romulus, the last of the Roman emperors in the west, was overthrown by Germanic leader Odoacer, who became the first barbarian to rule in Rome. The order that Roman Empire had brought to Western Europe for over 1,000 years was no more, and Roman Empire fell.